these. I will start by saying that we have created what I hope is an easy way to do these. You'll note that each one of these has a colored dot on them. All of the pieces within each box have the same colored dot, so that helps us keep things a little bit more organized. So I just want to lay this down, lay it down so that the wheels are down, and then come over to the side, unlatch it, push the gray button. The gray button's on the opposite side here, gray button, and then we open it up and we can see what's inside. Now there is an art to packing this. It can be difficult. Steve Polzing is very good at it if he's going to BMES.
All right.
So I will say one quick thing. There are these. These are lights that came with the booth. We have one of these for each maroon box. The lights look like that. I do not use them. The booth design that we have right now is mostly white and very bright. So we haven't needed them, but there is one of those. If some point in the future you want to add those lights, they're LEDs, so they should last forever. All right, so here is everything that's in the box. This is, what is it? Let's just find out. All right, so this is the straps. We'll see those in a minute, the flexible straps. So those are right here on the top. I think a lot of this stuff is flexible, the order you put it in, but that's in there. I will say one thing that you must do is be careful of this. This is the thing that has the graphics in it. It takes up the most space, and I think it pretty much has to be pretty much where this one is. Otherwise, everything won't go in there. So that's the graphics. This is the feet. We'll see them in a minute. These are legs and joints that go on the outside. Most of this rest of the stuff probably doesn't matter. Since all these are similar sizes, I think all these little skinny ones should be okay. But this is the one thing that must go where it is. This is these and the big tube. Those are the two things that matter the most. And these guys must be on the bottom because you have these straps, and these straps don't hold anything much, but they will hold this stuff down. This is the flat stuff, and we'll see this in a minute. But these two mostly wide flat pieces, these must go on the bottom. So that's unpacking. Go in reverse and you have packing, and you may find a better way to do this. It's highly likely, but this is those two pieces in that are pretty much right on where those need to go. All right, now it's time to take a look at how to set the booth up, and we'll just start taking some pieces out. I will sort of explain this as we go. You have upright pieces, all of which pretty much look like that. We have several of those. And then this is more of those. You have feet, which look like this. By being called feet, you'll notice that they go on the bottom. But one thing when you're packing these feet, they have these little nubs. So when you're putting them in there, best way is to just put that in there so they go through one another's slots, and that's how they're stored. Otherwise, they probably could scratch each other up a fair amount, but maybe you don't care. I will note that there is a green dot on each one of these. All of these are in the same kit, so all the green dots are together. So we'll start with the feet, and I'll come back and forth and show you this. It's an approximation. We are going to start with the bottom of the the upright pieces, and so I will fast forward this when I find it. So the bottom of the upright is going to be this piece. The bottom is easy to tell because it has this flange that pops out on the bottom. So here you have this guy, and it pops up like that. And that's going to lock it to the foot. So I'm going to walk this up. The bottom, like this. Here is your foot. You look at the bottom. It has this slot right here, and then the the foot has this upright piece, and then there's also this outward protrusion here, so you can put those together. So you slide it right in there, so that that comes through the bottom, and the other thing goes in the other thing goes in the inset there. That'll put your little thing that pops down right on the back across the round part of the foot. See, there's a pointy part and a round part, so you can then slide that up. It slides it very easily, and then your foot is locked to your first upright piece. And we're going to do that 3 more times in fast motion. For the sake of finding these easier, I make sure to put all the bottom pieces in the same bag, because when you get to the conference, you're going to want to be able to set this up pretty quickly. So they are all in the same bag. All right, so now I have all 4 of my upright pieces. The brown part, which is the magnetic strip up the front, you'll note that there is a green sticker on that. That won't hurt anything. But the magnetic sticker always goes outward, out toward where your audience is going to be viewing it. Before you go any further, you're probably going to want to put these flexible pieces on, and you want to have only the bottom and the foot together to do these. So you need two bottom pieces, which is a foot and a flexible piece. I already put this together, so I'm going to take it apart again. So you're going to take 2 of these guys, which is a bottom and a foot. The flexible piece goes, there's a slot right here on the side that's slightly wider. It's on both sides, so it doesn't matter which side you do it, but you do want to keep all of your feet going the same way. So you just put that in there and just slide it right down. That's all you do on each side. And then you do the same thing with the other side. Put it in and slide it down. And that is a full bottom joint. Now, you want to go ahead and do this on a cross. Put all the flexible pieces on all the way across all 4 of these poles, so it'll be a total of 3 flexible pieces. And I would probably wait to do any of the other building until you get all of your flexible pieces on. One thing you'll need to note, you want to put the flexible pieces on so the printed side is out. There's also magnetics on that, I think, but you'll need that later on. So make sure the printed side is out between your 2 bottom pieces. This is a top. The top has this sort of crown on the top of it. And it has it's different than the tops of the others. So this is just a normal joint piece. This is a top. So we're going to make sure that these tops stay on the top. Each one of these round graphics cases has several things in it. One, of course, is the very large graphic that covers everything, and a cap. And so that is not what this is. This is the front for your podium. We're going to come back to that, but that goes in with all the other graphics. You can just set that to the side for now. We also have these black edging pieces, which also go on the podium, and though they wind down in there, don't need those right now. But then we have the large graphic pieces, which mount directly on the booth. It's important to note these should be graphics facing outward when you put them in. If you put graphics facing inward, it can cause damage, which you don't want to happen. So we're just going to pull one of these out, and you'll see as I pull it out that the graphics are facing outwards. It's a lot of white, but there's graphics on it. So there are 3 of these in each one, enough to cover this whole piece that we're doing, and you keep all of the ones that go together. So we're going to learn how to mount them. Each piece has these gray corners that designate the top. So you see this guy right here. This is how you mount it to, remember we have a piece that is designated as the top. And you're going to want to keep these on the top, plus then your graphics won't be upside down. So we're going to mount these up with magnetics, and we're going to start by hanging them from the top. The hardest part about hanging these guys at the top, first of all, is being tall. So if you're not 6'5" like I am, you probably want to take a ladder to the conference, because they have been depending on me to do the tall stuff. But these have a little lip which you can pull off, but which really sits down on it with gravity. So that nests in sideways, and there's one on and one off here, so you can see that that occupies half of it. And then once you get that set on this side and the other one set on the other side, then the magnetics should take over and you should be able to smooth it pretty much all the way down to the bottom. Make sure even on the outside pieces that you leave half of your half of your pole rather open, because we have something else that goes there. So I'm going to put the rest of these graphics on and you can see what the whole thing looks like, and then we'll do the finishing pieces in the podium. So lining these things up along the seams is the hardest part. I don't think I even still got all of them up right. But just a design note, putting someone's face on a seam is a very bad idea. Some of these are getting ready to redo and I will take that into account, but when you redo one of these, like putting the middle of her face on a seam was a really bad choice on my part. Anyway, so all of these are up. The only thing that we have left to finish now is these corner pieces. And these are very simple. They're magnetic, just like everything else. They have a brown side that shows you the magnetics. And you just put those at the top, and they snap right in place. And we put those on the outer edge to make it look pretty. And I don't have the right ones here, but there's a smaller one too. Here it is. Now, one quick note. The way that we do these banners at BMES, this is a completed banner, and I'm not going to finish this side because since we put these together, we basically make one great big wall, which is 3 of these banners together. This side at BMES, we have a map graphic, which may change, but right now there are 2 map graphics. And so I would probably pick that up in the middle and then another pictorial one like this on the other side. I tell you that because this edge, which is part of this piece, will become the first edge for the next piece. So the map attaches directly to this. The magnetics of the map graphic will start on this brown line, and then you'll go on down. And that means that you won't use one of your upright pieces from the map kit because this is replacing it. You're basically seaming those 2 together, so you'll have a whole leg left over. All right? All right, I want to show you how to put the top on the podium and also how to put the shelves inside. You may notice as we go along that the color has changed. This is now red. It's not because the red things were in the green box. It's because the first time I shot this, I did it kind of wrong. So on reshoot, I just pulled the red booth. So ignore the red dots, pretend like they're still green. Anyway, so when you're setting up the booth top, this is important to get this secure because if it falls off on somebody's foot, they will not be happy with us. So a good way to do this, you'll note that the podium top has this slot that runs across the top of it, and then there is a kind of raised lip on the back part of the box. This is just the box that everything comes in. So the wheels are down, by the way, when you set the box up. The wheels should be down, and then everything should be lined up. So first we're going to line this slot up with the lip that runs along the back side. Oh, first you want to kick down these flaps, or the latches, sorry, not flaps, these 2 latches are here. There's a latch on each side. Kick those down, then flip it over and line it up, and then just secure this latch. Now do one of these at a time. You'll notice that it's still folded. So you're gonna lock that in before you unfold it, because it's easier when it's locked to line this up on the other side. So now if it's locked, you can make sure that you kick up your latches. Both these latches are up. And it's much easier to unfold it and then line it up on the other side because this one isn't falling off. So it's much easier to line up the slot, and off you go. And then you can just lock in both of these latches as soon as you have that one lined up. And then, yeah, so once you have this set up the way that it should be, there we go, it's latched, you should be able to pick this whole thing up. And then it shouldn't go anywhere. So make sure that you can do that. That's kind of a good safety precaution that you did have your latches fully latched if you can do that right there. All right. So now let's look at shelves. All right, for the shelves inside the podium, I want to tell you this is one of the best things that you can have to use at conference, because people want to put their laptop bags down and their purses down, and you'll need places to store all of your stuff. So these shelves are super nice, and they're actually pretty durable despite the fact that they're pretty thin. So I went ahead and put one of these in. They're pretty easy to do. The round part of the shelf in this slot goes right back into the back. And the reason I didn't set one up in advance is because sometimes it can't, so it just locks right in like that. So you have 4 of these, 2 on each side, and then of course you got this bottom to use too. This will create a tremendous amount of storage, especially since there are 6 of these podiums for you to use at the conference. Make sure you put those shelves in there because you're definitely going to want to use them all. Each podium has one of these. Now right now, I have only 2 types of podium front graphics. One is the logo, and one is like a word cloud kind of thing. This one that I have right now is the SBS logo, so we're going to use that one because I don't want to open up another box. There is a cardboard tube in here that protects it, and then the logo itself. So pull that guy out. Don't put it on upside down. It's confusing. All right, so the Velcro, which hold these things up, is around the back side. It's pretty easy to find because it's the only Velcro in the vicinity. So you take it to the edge, you Velcro it up. The only place Velcro is. Here's a fun fact. The clasps that keep the thing closed when it's actually a case, if those are kicked out like that, it's going to make your life horrible. So just close it down. And get them out of the way, and then you'll be able to wrap your, this is the graphic on the front, and you can see, I think you can see, yeah, there's a Velcro guy right inside. You can strap it there, and then there's one on the bottom. And note that the one on the bottom, there are actually 2 Velcro locations on the bottom. This is the one that I just used. There's another one on the bottom. That's for the black piece, which we're going to do next. The black Velcro bottoms are pretty simple. As you just saw, there's Velcro on the back side, which they catch. They work either way, upside down. You just can't flip them, backwards. But all right, so you come on the back side, catch it with the Velcro. I almost think these things would stay without the Velcro, but this makes a nice little foot kick guard, and it no longer looks like a box. It looks like a podium, and since we do have we have 3 of each of these, I try to stagger those. So I'll do one of these logos and then a word cloud in the middle, and then a logo on the outside to kind of stagger them, and on the other side it'll be word cloud, logo, word cloud, just so you have a different one in the middle. Or you can do all 3 of the same. It's your show now. So that's how you make a podium. That's it. That's a single booth piece. You'll do this 3 times. Once again, I am on great terms with this department. I'm not leaving mad at anybody. I still love these guys. So if you want me to come help you with this, please don't hesitate to ask at all. I think I'm keeping the same phone number. If not, I'm pretty easy to find. But for now, I'm going to put this thing back away at high speed so you can see what it looks like to take it down, and slow it down later if you want to. Anyway, good luck. You're in a great department with some wonderful people. I hate to be leaving them, but hopefully it's for your benefit. Now I'm going to put everything back together. That's it, but you shouldn't try to do it that fast unless you're under the influence of performance-enhancing drugs. Good luck!